If you're tired of pouring money into luxury SUVs that feel glamorous on the lot but fall apart in your driveway, this one's for you. Today, we're exposing the 5 used luxury SUVs that mechanics quietly love, because they're the ones that don't come back on a tow truck. Stick with me, and you'll know exactly which models deliver real luxury without the repair shop drama. The 2010 Touareg feels like the kind of luxury SUV built by engineers who secretly wanted to design a tank. It has that calm, heavy confidence on the road that makes you wonder why it never became a mainstream star. Mechanics praise it mostly for its honesty. The V6 FSI and the rare V8 don't pretend to be low maintenance, but they hold up incredibly well when serviced on schedule. You get around 280 horsepower from the V6, plenty of torque for towing, and a 6-speed automatic that shifts with a reassuring firmness instead of trying to play luxury smooth and wearing itself out. This is the SUV for buyers who want something substantial. People who like the idea of a European machine, but don't want the drama of an overcomplicated status symbol. On the highway, it feels planted like few SUVs of the era, soaking up rough pavement with that signature German stiffness that somehow still feels comfortable. Inside, the cabin is quiet, simple, and built with materials that age more like high-end furniture than car plastics. Of course, the Touareg has its quirks. Higher trim models with air suspension can throw tantrums if neglected, and electrical gremlins sometimes appear in the form of intermittent warning lights or stubborn switches. Fuel economy lives in the mid-teens, so this isn't for the hypermiler crowd. When inspecting one, pay special attention to coolant leaks around the thermostat housing, check the driveshaft support bearing for play, and make sure all suspension levels respond quickly. A well-documented service history matters more here than low mileage. Most good examples sit in the low teens price range depending on condition. And if you found the Touareg's blend of rugged luxury interesting, wait until you hear about the next SUV, a sleek machine that mechanics quietly admire for very different reasons. The 2010 Acura ZDX is that beautifully strange cousin in the luxury SUV family, the one everyone forgets about until a mechanic quietly says, "You know, that thing is actually fantastic." And they're not wrong. Under its dramatic, coupe-like body sits Acura's famously durable 3.7-liter V6, an engine that feels smoother at 100,000 miles than some rivals do brand new. Paired with a 6-speed automatic that rarely complains, it delivers close to 300 horsepower and a surprisingly athletic attitude for something shaped like a designer sneaker. This is the perfect choice for buyers who want luxury without blending into traffic, especially those who appreciate a sporty, road-focused feel more than giant cargo capacity. Inside, the ZDX feels like Acura handcrafted everything just to prove they could. The cabin wraps around you like a futuristic lounge, with materials that still age gracefully more than a decade later. The SHAWD system gives you that satisfying, always hooked-up traction, especially on wet pavement, and mechanics love how few surprises this drivetrain delivers. The main downside? Rear visibility is borderline comedic, and the roofline sacrifices practicality for style, but if you value design character over boxy utility, this won't bother you. When inspecting one, ask for proof of timing belt service. It's essential on this V6. Listen for faint whines from the rear differential after a long test drive, and check the panoramic roof for rattles on rough pavement. Also, make sure the power tailgate opens smoothly. Worn struts can make it sluggish. The ZDX holds up best when previous owners stuck to Acura's maintenance schedule like clockwork, so service records matter more here than mileage alone. Most clean examples land in the low to mid-teens price range depending on condition, making it one of the most undervalued luxury crossovers of its era. And if the ZDX surprised you with its mix of durability and personality, wait until you see the next SUV, a heavyweight European machine that plays by completely different rules. Before we jump any further, grab your phone for a second, hit subscribe, and drop a comment telling me which city you're watching from. It helps the channel more than you think, and I love seeing this community grow across North America. You know that one luxury SUV that looks intimidating but turns out to be far more dependable than rumors suggest? That's the 2010 Audi Q7. It walks into the used market with the confidence of a heavyweight, yet mechanics often smile when one rolls into the shop in good condition because it's usually just there for routine service. Beneath its broad stance, you'll find either the 3.6-liter V6 or the smoother 3-liter supercharged V6, both paired to a 6-speed automatic that prefers firm, predictable shifts over fragile luxury softness. Power hovers around the mid-200s for the 3.6 and climbs noticeably with the supercharged version, giving this massive SUV enough muscle to feel effortless on the highway. The Q7 is ideal for buyers who crave that big, planted, European feel. people who want something that carries 7 passengers without feeling like a minivan in disguise. On long trips, it settles into the road with a calm confidence. The cabin stays quiet, the steering feels weighty, and the Quattro system adds a sense of unshakable stability. The interior materials are what Audi used to do best. Thick leather, cold metal accents, buttons that click with purpose. Even today, it feels more expensive than many newer SUVs. But, like any German giant, it has its pressure points. The Q7 is heavy, so brakes and suspension components work hard and need replacement more often than lighter SUVs. Fuel economy likes to camp in the mid-teens, especially with city driving. Some early 3.6 engines developed timing chain tensioner wear, which is why mechanics always tell buyers to listen for cold start rattles. And on higher mileage units, check for coolant seepage around the water pump and thermostat housing, common but manageable issues. When inspecting one, pay attention to the operation of the air suspension if equipped, make sure the MMI system responds quickly, and confirm that the transfer case transitions smoothly under load. A Q7 with consistent oil changes, fresh brakes, and a healthy cooling system can easily deliver another decade of confident service. Clean examples generally live in the mid-teens price range, depending on mileage and trim. And if the Q7's mix of size and refinement impressed you, wait until we get to the next SUV, a Mercedes that built its reputation on rugged luxury long before the word crossover took over. Some SUVs try to look tough. The 2010 Mercedes M-Class simply is tough, and that's why mechanics tend to respect it more than people expect. It sits right in that sweet spot of Mercedes engineering, modern enough to feel premium, but not yet drowning in the complex electronics that made later models a headache. Depending on the trim, you'll find either the smooth 3.5-liter V6, the torquey 3.0 BlueTech diesel, or the punchy 5.5-liter V8 in the ML550. Horsepower ranges from the mid-200s to the mid-300s, all running through a reassuring 7-speed automatic that prefers durability over drama. This is the SUV for drivers who want real, daily comfort with a hint of old-school Mercedes sturdiness. The driving position feels commanding without being oversized, and the cabin has that bank vault vibe, solid doors, thick materials, and a layout that's straightforward rather than flashy. On the road, the M-Class feels planted but never clumsy, and the suspension swallows rough pavement with a calm maturity. The diesel version, in particular, has a cult following among long-distance drivers because of its torque and impressive highway economy. Of course, no luxury SUV escapes aging. The M-Class can develop window regulator issues, worn front control arms, and on high-mileage examples, transfer case whining if fluid changes were skipped. Diesel models need proper DEF system maintenance, and the V6 prefers fresh ignition coils every so often. Still, these are predictable, manageable problems, nothing like the mystery gremlins that plague some European rivals. When inspecting one, make sure the command infotainment boots quickly, test all power accessories, and check for oil seepage around the valve covers. A smooth, quiet, cold start is a great sign, and any hesitation from the transmission means you should walk away or negotiate hard. Service records from a reputable shop dramatically increase the odds of owning a trouble-free M-Class. Most clean examples sit in the low to mid-teens depending on engine and mileage. And just when you thought the list was over, there's one more luxury SUV mechanics love for reasons completely different from the others. The 2010 Infiniti FX is what happens when a luxury SUV decides it would rather be a sports car. Even parked, it looks like it's leaning into a corner, and mechanics tend to smile when one shows up, because under that aggressive styling sits one of Nissan Infiniti's most dependable powertrains ever. You'll find either the 3.5-liter V6 or the wild 5-liter V8 in the FX50. Both engines breathe easily, rev happily, and shrug off mileage when maintained on time. Power ranges from the upper 200s in the V6 to well over 350 horsepower in the V8, all fed through a 7-speed automatic that shifts with a confident snap rather than a lazy glide. This SUV is made for drivers who still enjoy driving, people who want luxury without giving up that playful, rear-biased feel on the road. The steering is sharp, the chassis is surprisingly athletic, and even the all-wheel drive system prioritizes handling instead of pure snow-plowing traction. Inside, Infiniti went all in on a cockpit vibe. Tall center console, supportive seats, and materials that feel warmer and more expressive than the typical German seriousness. It's the closest thing to a luxury sports coupe with extra ground clearance. But personality comes with trade-offs. The FX has firm suspension, and on rough pavement, it can feel a bit jumpy compared to cushier rivals. Cargo space is limited thanks to that swoopy roofline, and the 7-speed transmission needs regular fluid changes to stay happy. Some owners report minor dashboard rattles over the years, and fuel economy sits firmly in the mid-teens, especially with the glorious V8. When inspecting one, listen closely for timing chain noise on cold starts, check for oil seepage around the valve covers, and make sure the transmission engages smoothly from first to second. Test the active steering and lane systems to ensure all sensors respond instantly. An FX with documented synthetic oil changes and fresh transmission fluid is usually a safe bet. Most good examples live in the mid-teens price range, depending on engine and mileage, and they age far better than their dramatic styling suggests. If what you want is a luxury SUV that still gives you goosebumps on a good back road, the FX stands in a class of its own, a loud, bold exclamation point at the end of this list. So there you have a lineup of 4 luxury SUVs that mechanics quietly respect, not because they're flawless, but because they age with dignity. The Touareg gives you that rugged European strength without the ego. The Acura ZDX brings futuristic design wrapped around a powertrain that refuses to quit. The Audi Q7 proves that a big family SUV can still feel engineered with purpose. And the Mercedes M-Class? It reminds everyone that Mercedes once built luxury trucks with a backbone. And here's the real win for you. Used luxury prices are finally reasonable again. That means this is the moment where smart buyers pick up well-kept models, enjoy real comfort, and skip the bottomless repair bills that scare most people away from the luxury market. With the right inspection and a little patience, any of these SUVs can deliver years of smooth, confident driving. If this video helped you understand the market, check out the next ones on the channel. We dig deeper into dependable sedans, underrated trucks, and the hidden gems mechanics swear by. Trust me, you'll want to see what's coming next.